That's some good rolls right there. I'm okay with that.
Not a lot of information on these. That's unfortunate. You recognize the depiction of it is very ancient, and you kind of remember teachings and long lost lore of some. You almost have to call them settlements because they weren't quite countries, though back then they pretty much were countries. It seems like these are gods that were worshipped back then, though their names, unfortunately, have just been lost to time. Once again, as you all begin to enter into this room, you still get that sense, that kind of mental warning that it would be disrespectful to disturb anything here. Everything should remain as it is.
Well, should we be disrespectful?
Do you think they mean leave the dust alone too?
I'm going to make the symbol for, or what is it, the salute for Maestro, just to see if it does anything.
As you do so, raising your hand kind of in the air as if holding a lantern, it doesn't seem like anything seems to happen, but as you kind of look around the room after doing it and take a step forward, kind of looking a little bit closer at this large sarcophagus before you, you hear a deep, clear voice issuing from this coffin.
Ooh.
Saying, "You approach Diderius in repose. I know what you seek." A few
Do we
moments,
all hear this?
Yeah, you all hear this radiating directly from the coffin, like somebody standing in front of you.
Wait, what do I seek?
As you all kind of look around, trying to figure out where the voice came from and such, the voice issues from the coffin once again. It says, "To gain this knowledge for what you seek, one varum that you have been sought or seeking for some time, I require one of you to stay. One to speak with for a time."
Wait, what? Will Mr. Pebbles be enough?
Mr. Pebbles will gladly stay.
As you say that, the voice pauses for a moment, not really seeming to respond. And then it says, once again in this kind of clear, deep voice, "No, your construct will not suffice. There is one among you whose history I would like to divulge upon."
Which one of us would that be?
As you say that, Maximilian steps forward around you, his head kind of tilted to the side. He says, "I do have a history that is somewhat convoluted, and if you do have information regarding it, I would happily stay behind and speak with you." And with that, he turns towards the party. He says, "Do you think you would be able to handle this on your own? This is important to me."
We'll be fine. You're the one that got knocked down a little bit ago. You should get some rest while you can.
I'll turn to Max and kind of reach a hand out and say, if you believe this is best, then we'll believe your word as we always have.
Oh, you don't have enough time, man.
No.
Sad about it. All right, just trying to remember where we are so I can give this to Max. With that, he nods.
Oh, I can mark it.
Okay. With that, he nods, still looking a bit hesitant. He says, "There are things about my past that I don't know. I've gotten glimpses in our time together, mostly in sleep or when I took too much damage, much like before." And he kind of looks over towards the sarcophagus. Says if this voice, whom I can only assume is Diderius himself, has information on it, I would very much like to know it. And if it lets us continue ultimately towards our cause, it seems like something worthy seeking out.
Kind of looking back towards the sarcophagus, Stone Skull will say, "And how long will you be keeping our friend with you?"
With that, with another pause as your words trail off, this deep voice issues once again from the coffin. Not long, certainly not any longer than necessary for you to find what it is you were seeking.
Again, turning back, I'll turn back over to Max and just kind of nod and say, again, if this is best and this is what you need so that we can complete our mission, then I am all for you doing so.
With that, Max nods, obviously grateful for you agreeing to this, and he steps forward towards the sarcophagus, standing next to the steps. He says, Diderius, I will speak with you if you will have it. My friends will continue on to what we seek, and I will stay behind. Another somewhat long pause of a few moments goes by, and then the voice says again, Very well. Yuan-Ti have taken the one called Verum beyond their portal in the northern wall. Be prepared, for I shall open the way to peril.
Peril sounds much too.
Never heard of the place.
And as this happens, you hear a chiming sound. And as the chime kind of goes away, you look over and see Max looking down at his hands. And he starts to turn them over, and you see his fingertips beginning to fade. His hands, then his arms, and you see his entire body is beginning to fade, almost to an inky blackness as it swallows him up. And as this blackness disappears, so does Maximilian. In the breath of a moment of Maximilian vanishing from you, you hear loud clanking and seeming like gears are rotating, and then you hear the hard sound of stone upon stone as a hidden passageway on the northern end of this room to your right opens and swings upward. You see beyond it some very surprised-looking lizard folk.
Oh, of course, there's more lizard folk.
I need everybody to roll for initiative.
Yeah.